What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Wave podcast here at the Culture Wave Media Network, and we are back to discuss a little film called The Plague that is written and directed by Charlie Polinger. It is his feature, written, and directorial debut. I'm going to be one of your hosts for this episode. My name is Darian Scalamoni. I am joined this time by Liz Seiko.
Hello.
Hello. So, we first got wind of this, I feel like, because our boy Everett Blunck, who we have an interview on the channel with him, please check that out, is the lead in this movie, and it's coming off of the year where also Griffin and Summer got a wider release. We saw that movie at Tribeca in 2024. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We also have the review of that up on the channel. And we were both just really impressed with his work in that movie that I felt like we were like, we're going to support this kid. We want to see other things he's doing. This movie is very different. This movie is very, very different from Griffin and Summer, which I want to give props up top to him because he's obviously at a young age showing a lot of range because this is a completely different performance, a completely different character that he's embodying. With this movie that is a psychological thriller, it is a drama, but it's very tense, and it's not for the weak of heart because there's a lot of graphic things like limbs being cut off and a lot of blood, and there's also this feeling that you have throughout the movie of this real deep anxiety of like growing up and seeing other people being bullied and experiencing that through this lens that Charlie Polinger is able to do. Kayo Martin is also a name in this movie. He plays the main bully, Jake, and then Joel Edgerton is in a supporting role in this as well. But for you, Liz, you checked this out a little bit before I did. And I was aware of it, but you're like, we should really review this for the podcast. It's a really good movie. So you saw before I did. What were your initial thoughts of The Plague?
Yeah, I went in very blind to this. It was a Sunday night, and I was like, you know what? I want a little nice movie that's an hour and a half to like...
Perfect runtime for you.
Yeah, perfect runtime. Gorgeous. I was like, let me get something just to like spend my Sunday night with. And oh my God, like you just are having anxiety from the moment this film starts till the end. And so definitely not what I was prepared for, but I was blown away for a first directorial debut of a feature film. I'm really impressed, I will say. I think some of the images, like especially in the water, there's just shots of like the girls swimming, and it's crazy. And I know that they're not they're just flipping the camera upside down, but it's still the imagery and the vision, gorgeous. Some of my favorite cinematography of the year, I would say. And yeah, just the story. I mean, I think it's something that a lot of people can unfortunately relate to, either from like their own childhood growing up and their young adult life, or seeing it happen to other people. It taps into that like early 2000s, like aesthetic. And also like bullying when it wasn't really like bullying wasn't known yet. It was just kind of like
it was a part of the culture in a weird way. Like it was just that part of growing up was you're gonna like take your licks, so to speak.
And like life will get better. You just have to wait. You just have to wait your turn, and like life gets better. Life gets better is like what they used to preach, I feel like. And I think a lot of films now that are covering this topic are set in present day. And so then it goes down like the long conversation of like bullying. And I think putting it in this time frame and specifically focused on young boys just heightens the entire situation too. Yeah, there's some scenes like, especially at the night times when like they're sleeping and they're all sharing like this room where they're all in like bunk beds.
There's one in particular that would be probably one of my biggest fears in my entire life, like even at age 30.
Yeah.
And he endures it, and you're watching it, and you're just like, I can't believe they're putting this kid through this right now.
Literally, I'm like, these kids are the worst people ever. And then also, I think it highlights. I saw a few comments of people like, where are the parents? Where are the teachers like watching?
Where are
and
the counselors? Yeah.
I feel like it just highlights this time period when it really was kind of like, oh, well, the kids are being kids. Like the boys will be boys, like put them in a room and like, it's fine, all fine. And like, we'll see them tomorrow for practice. And like what happens behind closed doors happens. And there's nothing we can do about it. which is just crazy. And it's like it's a very juicy conversation because it induces that anxiety for the audience just as much as like the characters.
Yeah, well, like part of what you're saying too, I think that what this movie's able to do is it's able to squeeze in a lot of information, a lot of sort of atmosphere in such a tight movie.
Yeah.
That's why I think we're so impressed with what Charlie Polinger was able to do with this. This is, as you said too before, he's only done shorts before this, and then coming off of this movie, because this premiered, I believe, at Cannes, and it was a big deal at Cannes. It was like one of the like big breakout movies that people were like, you really like. I haven't seen a lot of negativity towards this movie at all. A lot of people are really praising.
I think people just haven't had a chance to see it yet because it just is going wide. And
it went. I think it's still, in terms of wide, I think it's still limited. In comparison. But it did come out on Christmas of 2025. We're filming this in 2026, obviously. And there's just a lot to really like with this movie. So laying the groundwork of what this movie is, Everett plays a kid named Ben, I believe his character's name is. He has moved from Boston with his mother, and he joins this water polo camp. It's 2003. This movie is set in. I believe it's set in Delaware, right? He's wearing a Delaware sweatshirt. So. I don't know if they really actually say what state it takes place in. But he moves from Boston. And he is kind of just learning his way about dynamics with other kids and understanding what other kids are talking about, because he starts off similar. Well, actually, it's not really similar to Griffin in Griffin and Summer, because Griffin is a very outspoken, very confident playwright who wants to be an adult. With Ben, he's very within himself. He's very internal. And a lot of the other kids are talking like things that are way above what you would imagine 12 and 13-year-olds are. But the reality is a lot of 12 and 13-year-olds are probably talking about women and what they like, saying curse words and bullying and teasing one another. And that's kind of happening throughout and around him. Kayo Martin plays Jake. He is a scene stealer. Yeah. Certainly. But man, to watch a kid be that shitty and scary.
And like not like a typical horror movie way, but in an intimidating way. I was even like, oh my God, this kid is
psychologically intimidating and so easy to belittle others, and finding kind of these corners of their brains and their lives to kind of pick apart whenever he wants. He even gets Joel Edgerton's character frustrated in a moment where he kind of proves him right, and he doesn't even know how to react to it. So he's a standout to me, obviously, in this movie too. I think that this is his debut. This is his feature debut. Yeah. So the fact that he's doing such great work there. And then Joel Edgerton, he plays this supporting character. He plays the coach of the water polo team, who has a couple of one-on-one moments with Everett Blunck throughout the movie, but he's also trying to kind of be his protector and tries to give him sort of confidence going forward with what he deals with throughout the movie. The title of the film serves a different kind of meaning, if you want to kind of give that away, or not necessarily give it away, but can you talk about it without
like telling the story of it? Yeah. So the plague, part of the bullying that goes on is there is a kid in the group in the polo class and on this camp that has some sort of rash of some sort, and the kids essentially say that he has the plague, and if he touches you or if you share anything with him, you are going to get the plague. And that is kind of where the story really takes off and starts expanding, because Ben is given that information, and it's kind of like, now do what you want with this information. Of, are you going to befriend the kid that has the plague, quote unquote, or are you going to join the group and continue the bullying and to prevent yourself from being bullied? Yeah. Which is like a whole other psychological thing that a whole nother layer that goes into it, because it's not just physical bullying, but then it's also the mental bullying that happens. Yeah, I mean, I also think what makes this film so great is the performances of the young kids. I mean, there's a ton of films out there where it focuses on this age group, and I think that unfortunately it can really make or break the films if the young actors aren't able to fully digest the characters and what they're struggling with. And the fact that not only Everett is able to deliver like a really strong leading performance, but all the side characters too. They give these little nuanced moments of when you can see if a character is starting to question what they're doing. You can see when somebody is not questioning and they're almost proud of the damage they're putting these kids through. It's just so specific. And I think that's what makes this another level up for such like kind of a simpler story.
Yeah, because there's also such an intensity and in the ostracization that's happening throughout this entire movie for not only Ben but obviously Eli. Like from a very early time, despite the fact that this kid is kind of being outcast, you feel for him obviously because he didn't do anything to anybody and he's just kind of this kid that lives in his own world, and you start to kind of see the niches of what he enjoys, whether it's magic or whether it's dancing with a cardboard cutout. Like there's moments where you kind of see the humanity come through with him, and then when you have the boiling kettle kind of tip over towards the end of the movie, you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. It's a really good debut. Like I can't remember a debut that is, like you said, one of the simpler stories. Like this is a movie that I don't know what the budget was for this, but I can't imagine it was like unbelievable. You know, like this is a movie that I think anyone probably could make in terms of like the story and how they're handling it. But Charlie Polinger does such a good job of reining the viewer in, and like it's those moments where I was kind of sitting with the movie and I was like, this is like really hard to watch, but I can't take my eyes off it, which is the best kind of feeling for a movie when you feel that tenseness. So I mean, there's just a lot that I was really impressed with. I'm glad you brought up the cinematography because I also was going to bring it up. Stephen Brecken does the cinematography. It's only his second feature, I believe. Awesome work. All the scenes in the pool are unbelievable. I love it. Even the moments, again, like with the close-ups and the intensity that you're seeing that is making the audience feel something. It's just, like I said, it's just like there's no other way to describe it other than tight. It just feels really professional. It feels like something that is kind of that setting the stage for bigger and better for the filmmaker, which is awesome. And the next movie that he's doing is a big one, because it's going to be, I don't know if it's A24 or Neon off the top of my head, but he got himself an Oscar winner for his next movie.
I know.
Which is crazy. So he's going to be he's writing and directing a film for Mikey Madison coming off of Anora. I think it's going to be her second movie coming off of Anora after The Social Reckoning that comes out later this year. It's about a noble woman's exile that leads her twin to assume her identity in a plague-sealed medieval kingdom. As she navigates deadly court intrigue with her daughter, she questions whether safety behind castle walls is worth the price of brutality, where Mikey Madison's going to play twins. So this is a big...
It's A24, by the way.
A24. It's a big step up.
Yeah.
A24 does a really good job, I feel like, of identifying these filmmakers
these newer
as they're blossoming, you know? So I think it sets the stage for a great kind of follow-up to what this movie is. But in general, like you said, I want to praise the performances again, because I think everyone's great in this movie. Even Joel, with the little bit that he does, I think the scene in particular that he has at the table is a well done scene.
I was surprised how much. I thought he was going to have a little bit more, but I think it was perfect. Though, yeah,
because then he would have maybe potentially overshadowed the kids, which you don't want. And Joel's having a year.
Absolutely.
Let's be real. Train Dreams. He's got his movie.
And it's not that character's story.
No, not at all. But I do love that he kind of came on board to kind of give this movie a little bit of a boost because he has a name and because Train Dreams is also out. So I really enjoyed this movie. We don't want to give too much away because we want people to go see this movie. So we try to avoid spoilers as much as possible. So hopefully you guys can find this in a theater and check it out. But we highly recommend it. Would you like to give a score?
Sure, absolutely.
Did I catch you off guard?
You did. I wasn't prepared. Give me yours first.
I'm going to give it an 8.
An 8?
I think it's a really, really, really good, solid debut feature for Charlie Polinger. And I'm really excited now, even more because of this next movie, The Mask of Red Death, because I had read about it and I really loved Mikey in Anora. So I'm excited to kind of see where her career goes next. But seeing her team up now with him has me even more intrigued and hopeful. And shout out Everett because he killed it in this movie as well. So
we'll see what he does next.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go slightly above just because I really, really loved the cinematography. I'm gonna go 8.5.
Okay, nice. Well, guys, please try to find this movie in theaters if you guys can. It is called The Plague. Once again, you guys can, if you have seen it already, give this video a like, comment your thoughts. Maybe you guys had a chance to see it at one of the festivals. Let us know what you guys thought of the movie, and be sure to share this video with other people if you can. You can follow us on social media if you want. All that stuff is below me in the video, and it's also in our YouTube description. So just signing off, I'm Darian Scalamoni.
I am Liz Seiko.
And we'll see you guys next time.
This is The Culture.